So, hey, y'all, hey, and welcome to another session of Meditations with Marigny. I wanted to come on this morning. I'm headed to service, and I was just thinking about a video that I saw last night, a reel of a young man. First of all, if you follow me on a regular basis, click like, share it with a friend, and subscribe. I need six. I think I'm up to like 7 subscribers needed now between now and the first of the year to hit my 200 mark. But anyway, I was listening to this young man and he was talking to his girlfriend and he was talking about the fact that she only was interested in what was good for her. And he had basically kind of had an epiphany about the fact that he was always trying to please her. Everything was about her, what she wanted, how she wanted it. And he was saying not only was it just about her, but it was like the demands that she had placed. And he was constantly trying to meet that. And I've seen this couple because I think they're on a real reality show or something. But anyway, long and the short, it gave me some thought to kind of what he was talking about. And my traditional thought processes oftentimes seem as though they lean more toward the male expectation. And it's not so much that it leans towards men, but it's the fact that I believe that in marriages, because you guys know I'm speaking from a serious relationship slash marital perspective, like moving into that. So not that you're going to start out that way, but I'm talking about getting to that. I do believe that oftentimes the male, especially if he's with a woman that he truly loves, he is going to be more giving. He's going to be more accommodating. He is going to try to make sure that her needs are met because that is a part of the natural male instinct. It is his desire to make sure that she is well taken care of. And so, ladies, I kind of want to talk to you, and maybe the men can glean a little something from this. But I want to talk to you about 3 ways to relieve the pressure. 3 ways to relieve the pressure in your relationship. We all have expectations and we all have things that we want and we desire. So as you are vetting people and you're dating them, you should be discussing like what some of your life expectations are so that you will be able to assure that you all are moving in the same direction. But when you are in a relationship with a man, it should not be so much pressure on him that he is overwhelmed with stress. In this age bracket that we are in, when we are seeing these marriages that are coming to an end after 10, 15, 20, 30 years, I seen recently where somebody had been married 40 years, and now they're going through a divorce. And some of these marriages, true enough, were only accommodated based upon that woman might have gotten pregnant back then, and back during that time a man would marry a woman. If she got pregnant, he took on that responsibility, and that was basically the way that they knew to do it because they wanted to keep their family together. And eventually they became a true family where they loved one another and they moved in that direction. But the pressure that is applied in these new relationships, the one of the things that I look at is the lifestyle of like just the engagement parties. What people are spending on an engagement party is ridiculous, and they don't even have a house to go home to. So I look at the fact that maybe, they could have bought a house, but they spent it on the engagement party. Is that more important than having a place to live, making sure that we pay down our debt? That alone applies pressure to a relationship before it even gets started. So, one of the first things that a woman can do to assure that she relieves the pressure from him is not have unrealistic expectations. If the average salary, and we're talking about the average salary, is about $50,000 per household, stop trying to live as though you make 150. Stop trying to meet the expectations of social media and the things that people have put in place. Half of these people that are showing that they live in a certain lifestyle, they don't even live that way. They fix the cameras so that you guys can see that. When I am recording my videos, sometimes my office might be a total wreck. This is just me being transparent. But there are certain portions of my office that is organized. I'm not going to let you guys see the part of the office that's a total wreck at that time. When I am in school and I'm digging into papers and I'm working 12-hour days and 15-hour days and sometimes pulling nights where I only get like 3 hours of sleep, I'm not concerned with what my office is looking like at that time. And I may take time like now while I'm on the break, and I will take a moment and go in there and thoroughly clean my office. But during the times that I'm in school, I'm not going to be worried about that office. But I still got to build my content. So you all only see the portion of my room that is actually clean. I'm sharing that vulnerable space with you because many of these people that you may see on social media, they are only there to show you the portions of them that you can actually see. But they don't show you the ugly parts that go along with those relationships. They don't show you the stress level that may have gone into them putting together an engagement party that cost $30,000. They don't show you the stress that went along with putting together a wedding that might have been $50,000. People are taking out loans to get married. I can't even imagine. I can't imagine it. If I'm going to dip into my 401k or give my kids something like that, it's going to be a down payment on a house. It's going to be for something that is going to be viable for them to do later on. We can always have a wedding. We can put that together. This is the event planner over here. We can put together a nice wedding, but we don't have to break the bank in order to do that. And when we finish, I want them to be able to live a life that does not have stress attached to it. Typically, that is going to fall on the man. And you all remember that I am a mother of all boys. So my lens for how I look at relationships and family and things of that sort is twofold. It is in reference to how I feel I should be treated as a woman. So I have an expectation of what I'm expecting and how I expect for a man to treat me. But I also have an expectation for how I expect that somebody's son who would find me worthy enough to say that I want to be with her, I want to share my life with her, that I'm not going to stress him out. So the number one is set realistic expectations. If you guys are only living off of $75,000 or $80,000 household, live that way. Don't live as though you live off of $100,000. And don't put that pressure on him, because that's where the pressure is going to come. If he's a real man, if he isn't, when I say a real man, if he is a masculine man and he desires to care for his family, he's going to feel that pressure because he's going to feel like that is his responsibility, even if you are contributing to whatever it is that you all have financially. The next thing is, in order to relieve the pressure, create a happy environment. People say that people can't make someone happy. I agree with that. I agree. No one can make you happy. No one can bring you happiness. I do agree with that. However, I also am a firm believer that as a woman and as the nurturing component to your household, you have the capacity to create the environment that you want your household to be. What does that mean? My mama used to say, the woman regulates the temperature in the household. So just like we have the thermostat in the house where we can turn the temperature up and down, we can make it hot, we can make it cold. We have the capacity to create that same type temperature in our household. We can decide that when he comes home, we're going to meet him at the door, fussing, arguing, bringing up something about what he did yesterday. Or we can decide that we're going to make it a soft landing space. We can decide whether or not after he's dealt with people on the job, he's had to manage people, he's had to supervise people, he's had to discipline people, he has had to deal with unhealthy situations depending on what he does in his life. We can decide as to whether or not that's going to be a safe and a soft place for him to land. One of the things that I assured, because my ex-husband worked away, he had to drive about an hour to an hour and a half to work, depending on traffic. I always made sure that when he came home, once he hit that door, it was a easy space. Even if it was something that we had to discuss that was going to be difficult, that was going to be agitating, I tried to make sure that I created an environment that made it welcoming enough for him to want to come home. Now, if I needed to talk about something, I might tell him, hey, we got to have a discussion about this. Like, I'm really not happy about this, and maybe once you get home, we can go to dinner or something, because I really try not to have like arguments in the heat of the moment. I try to have a conversation. And sometimes because I'm so direct, it can come off as though I'm being, forceful, but I'm not. I'm just let's talk about it, let's deal with it, and then let's move on. So I want to say, create an environment where he has a soft place to land. And then the last one is going to be, how can I say this? You One of my friends said, when your man is down, he did a video, when your man is down, get his wood up. And so what I will say is, sexual, because I don't want to get pinged, those release are a great way for a man to get pressure off of him. Sometimes women don't understand that that is a component that is not just wanted, but it is needed. And when you look at it from a perspective of, you want to create an environment for him that allows him to have a soft space to land, you also want to create an environment for him to have a release. And so for the men, I will say this. Since you know that most women, we are emotionally driven, we have to have an emotional connection in order to even get to that space. So if you know that, then help to create that emotional space for her to be able to then give you that release. And so I wanted to just jump on right quick and have this quick conversation, because I could tell that that young man in that video was so stressed out. Like, he was so overwhelmed, and he was talking about how he had tried to provide everything that she asked for, but it was just more and more and more. And so sometimes we don't realize that there is a sense of greed that is attached to a woman who has been well provided for. There is you begin to take what you have before you for granted, and you don't really appreciate what God has given you. So I don't know who this video may have been for today, but just know that those are the 3 ways that you can relieve pressure in your relationship. All right, you guys, thank you for joining Meditations with Marigny. If you like my videos, click like. I'd love you to share it with a friend, and then help me to get to my 200 subscribers by the end of 2025 by subscribing. Have an awesome day, y'all. Bye.